Hello, everyone, and welcome to Overcast. This is the 49th episode of Overcast, your Overwatch podcast. So glad that you could join us. I am Frostee. I'm joined right here by my friend, Old Sawfty. What's up, man?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Having a good night with a good friend.
Yep.
Ready to make a podcast.
We're both starving, so...
Yes, we are.
Stomach's growling. If you hear that, just ignore it, right? So thank you all for joining again. Remember, you can always follow us on Twitter at Overcast Show. You can always also go to our new blog page, which is overcast.frozenfoxmedia.com. Frozenfoxmedia.com is also where you can find information about this and all the other shows on the Frozen Fox Media Network. Also hit us up on Facebook. Give us a like there. If you're listening, or if you're watching the video version, give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss an episode. And also, thank you for listening on Stitcher, iTunes, or Google Play Music, or any other source. If you love the show, go ahead and give us a good review, and we much appreciate whether you do one in the future or if you've already done one now. So thank you very much. With that said, what have we been up to, man? I mean...
been a busy week. How about you?
A lot of stuff. So
Yep.
Settling into the new house, as you can tell, it's still kind of empty. It's, we're getting there.
Yep.
And
That's what matters.
I think with the configuration of the studio here, I'm going to have to buy a new backdrop, so that's a new investment. I found a few good ones online, but yeah, we're going to have to do it. So it's one of those like, all right, you twist my arm, I'm going to have to do it, right? So there's that, and we're wrapping up the summer games, so Lucio Ball, the time grows short to play Lucio Ball.
I play as much as I can every day now.
How about yourself?
It's actually been a pretty busy week so far. I worked today, Friday the 19th, when I normally wouldn't, to help my boss out. So normally I'd be kind of relaxing today, but I didn't get home that long ago, and kind of feels weird, man. I only got 2 days off this week. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Kind of an odd thing.
It is, yeah.
Stressing about raid stuff, both of us chatting all day about that.
I know. I'll go on a little bit of a Warcraft rant. No, not really. So I've been playing a lot of Overwatch, both Lucio Ball and Quick Play. Been trying to get ready to adapt to the non-Lucio Ball world. It's not easy.
I know, it's like you got to get back into like the real game, right?
Yeah. I played a lot of Lucio, I'll be honest, in non-Lucio Ball, and I just boop at everybody and look for the pads to jump really high.
There you go.
I wish that was a lie, but it's true. That's pretty much what I do. So I have to kind of refine myself for competitive season 2 and get ready for that.
Finally.
I know, right? It's coming. A chance for all of us to start over.
It's a new life for everyone.
It's a new life, exactly. Then I decided my goal for myself this year was a Legion-based goal for World of Warcraft was to obtain 700 battle pets and reach the 4,000 mark on the Warcraft Pets website, which is a ranking site for pets. And so this morning I hit that mark. Thankfully,
yes, congrats.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I decided to take the time the last 2 days and grind out Heroes of the Storm, AI play, nonstop over and over and over till I couldn't stay awake. And I'm now level 20. And it was this really weird phenomenon. I got the pet and I posted it and I was so excited. And then I felt like playing more Heroes of the Storm. It was this really dangerously kind of weird thing. So I played Vala the whole time, so I got her up quite a bit. But so I had a lot of fun with Heroes. And then, of course, I played Legion. Still kind of working on that whole raid situation.
We're getting it hammered down, though. It's getting pretty close now.
Yep, absolutely. So there's a few positions we're missing, but it sounds like everything's going to kind of fit. And you got to love when that happens. So, and we're only, 2 weeks from Legion?
Less than 2 weeks.
10 days from Legion. That is crazy. So
wow.
That's pretty much been my whole week is video games.
Get ready for the grind fest, right?
I know, right?
And sadly, Ova is not here tonight. We have to change the night that we're recording, so I think that might have caught him out and some other stuff as, we kind of, maybe he's just sad that the season 1 of competitive has ended and he doesn't want to talk about it right now. I don't know. But we'll get him back on the show ASAP once our schedule kind of settles down. We kind of had to, jumble up my schedule. My school started this week, so I'm back at law school and everything. And we kind of came to a quick realization on Wednesday that it just wasn't going to work. And
It was so
Sawfty almost
quick,
did
I
the
was sitting
so.
here waiting for you guys to call for about an hour.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's probably why you called my Skype the other day.
Yep.
That was
That would be
like,
it.
where are you at? So yeah, that's what's going on with that. And so hopefully we can get Obi on really quick again and get him
Yep.
back in the saddle. So with all that out of the way, let's talk about what's going on. What's the big news?
Do it.
So Gamescom produced a whole lot of news.
Yeah.
We got a lot.
And a lot Overwatch related, which is even better.
Yeah, and it's all exciting. So a lot of people called it. The first thing that we're talking about is the new map, which is Eichelwald. So this is a great map. It's in a little castle-y village set outside of Stuttgart, apparently.
Yep, German
And
castle. Yeah.
This was where there was like a huge, battle with the Omnics and the Crusaders, and they were going at it, and it apparently turned the title battle for the fight in Germany. So it was a very iconic place. It's a beautiful place. It's kind of cool. We get the big castle. We get the payload that like knocks down the walls, and really cool sight lines. And they have promised that this is the most vertical map of all the maps. So if you play a player that can get vertical, congrats. If you play Anna, you're a little out of luck. So.
Oh, that's great.
But it looks like a lot of fun. I'm
Yep.
excited for it. It's really cool because there's all like the Bastion units. There's just like strewn all over the place. You can see where they got obliterated. And one of Reinhardt's friends kind of sitting on what looks like the throne of the castle. He's just hanging out there. And as a tribute to him, they did announce that his armor will be a Reinhardt skin, and it looks really sweet. Like, it's really, really nice. So
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like, I don't know. It is very knightish though, which I like. I think that's I think it's a pretty cool idea to kind of give us a diverse. I mean, it's not they're not all totally different, but it is at least different enough to make it special.
I agree. It looks really cool, and maybe it's like a tribute to him. I wonder if like what they should do is like if you equip that skin for Reinhardt, he should be like, "This was my friend's armor," or something like that. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool as a little tribute.
That would be awesome, yeah, and maybe a voice line to come with it.
There you go.
Well, speaking of Eichwald, did you notice it in the new Bastion cinematic?
I think that you could see like a tiny bit of the village.
You can see the entire castle.
Oh, really? Maybe I just
can.
forgot then.
They are during this cinematic, which recently came out about kind of where Bastion is at before they get reactivated. They actually show the whole castle. They show a flashback of the battle that happened.
Yep.
With all the Bastion units. They actually show Reinhardt himself, and I'm wondering if they show that skin. I'm just thinking about it now.
I'm sure he's in there somewhere.
Yeah. But I'll have to look back at that. But it's amazing how they're telling this story. And on one hand, they're releasing a new map, but that map is a story in a video they just told, and the new skin is part of that map in the video. I mean, it's
Everything ties together.
It does. They're doing such an incredible job of telling these stories that are just out of thin air, but they already mean so much to us.
And not to mention the fact that it happened at Gamescom, which is in Germany. So I mean, like,
exactly, how perfect is that?
It was meant to be, But
Yeah,
it's kind of like they said they had, they had this story they wanted to tell, and they thought like what better time to do it? We're releasing this map. It's a Gamescom. And speaking of the Last Bastion, what a beautiful cinematic, right?
It was, I think, like I said to you before the show, it looked like something Pixar would make before a movie that would be an award-winning picture. I mean, it was gorgeous. It was absolutely beautiful. The flashbacks were really cool. Like I said, it kind of told that whole story.
Yes.
And then it also needed no words.
Yeah.
No words, and it told this beautiful story, and it was amazing to look at. You kind of want to be there. I thought that was great. It was my favorite so far, and there was no words, so I thought it was fantastic.
And I think a lot of people can relate. I saw people talking about it on Twitter, like for example, like with the woodpecker scene, people that had PTSD talking about how like they can completely relate to Bastion in that situation. And
that is very cool. I love that they did that. They make him more relatable to people that could have been in a situation like that.
Yep. we did run a poll on Twitter about that cinematic, and there were a number of people that still like Bastion, but it was overwhelmingly Ganymede MVP of the cinematic.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
so it's where we have to go from there. And I think, like I said, everything was just beautiful. Like my wife, she studies animation, she works as an animator, and she's still just like blown away, by like the level of detail, especially the foliage. The foliage is just amazing in that video.
Yep.
So it was great. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. I mean, this is like the best one I think so far, by far.
Absolutely. And this is a great piece of cinematography regardless of the video game.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it'll turn your head on Bastion if you don't like him. Maybe you'll just like Ganymede more.
I went and played a whole bunch of Bastion after it, I'll be honest.
There you go. It was like all Bastion all over, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's really interesting to consider how much foresight it took to have this idea and how to build this story piece by piece through maps, through comics, through videos, through skins. I mean, this incredibly huge story they're telling in only a way Blizzard can. And I think it's so cool to step back and recognize the incredible amount of time and effort it went in to reveal this piece by piece. And where we get to in the end, nobody knows except for them.
Yeah.
But what an awesome journey they're taking us on. I just have to stop and say thank you. And what an amazing... How long has this game been out? 10 years? 15 years? Oh, no, it hasn't yet. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And again, just want to have to step back a little bit, say thank you, and appreciate what they're giving us.
Yeah, and just to put it into perspective, one of my friends works at Blizzard in the video team. Not the cinematics team, but they work in the videos that you see. But it was their parrot that was the model for Ganymede. So it was kind of like cool because their bird got to kind of get immortalized, I guess, in a way. But
that's awesome.
They took their bird to the studio to do some modeling, and this was over a year ago. Just to put it into perspective, how long they've been working on this. So if you look at over a year ago, that was before the beta started for Overwatch.
Yeah.
And they were already working on these cinematics.
Yeah, they had no idea how successful it would be at that point.
Yeah,
and they're already putting these together.
That's how great it is. And speaking of your Heroes play, then, how about the fact that Zarya will be in Heroes of the Storm?
All right. It depends what skin she gets. If she gets like a giant Russian polar bear, I'm in.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah, I'd be all in for that. No, Zarya is very cool. She's a little bit different. I'm wondering how they're going to implement the shields and things like that into the game. I guess we'll have to see exactly how she's going to be translated over. I thought Tracer was just a flawless transition. So if they can do that with Zarya, I don't see any problem. I think that'll be a lot of fun to play.
Zarya's kit looks like it's going to play out pretty much the same way so far. You do have two alts. You don't get your alt at level 1 anymore. But you have the Graviton Surge. But then you have another one where she drops like a grenade thing, but it repels people from a circular area instead. So it's kind of like the opposite.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, like to give her like the kind of area denial and, just like the typical like Graviton Surge play of the game kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
But she still has like her grenade and her shields, her personal shield and all that still there.
Oh, that's awesome.
The only thing it doesn't look like they implement is like building charge, so that's kind of sad. Sure. It didn't look like there was any like system for high energy kills, which that was kind of sad. But you walk around with high energy, I guess you can just wall up their team. Probably be a little OP. So, and there you go for Gamescom. I mean, it was great. If you're a fan of anything Blizzard, there's new cool stuff for everything. So.
And on the Blizzard launcher, they actually have a link right now. You can click and it'll rewind all these great things that they've been doing over the last 2 days at Gamescom. So you can kind of catch up and see all this crazy stuff that they're doing. Definitely worth a look.
Yep, it is definitely. So we have a new PTR build that went up basically simultaneously.
Yep.
And the PTR build has a ton of stuff. And basically this is... We're putting in the system that we're going to have for Season 2 of Competitive, first of all. And then at the same time, we're also going to have... These are the heavy hits. So Season 1 went in, and every little tweak for Heroes was tiny, like they said.
Right.
Little bit here, a little bit there. Now we're in between seasons, and this is the time to take like the huge swings at Heroes, make the big changes that they've been wanting to make.
Yeah.
So let's talk about competitive play first, though. And there was a big developer thing with Jeff Kaplan out there talking about it, if you've seen the video.
Yeah.
So skill rating is going to be changed. And instead of going from 1 to 100, you will now go from 1 to 5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really like that or really dislike that. I like that you can more quickly show your improvement. I think that's a cool idea because it's like the old WoW rating when it was 1 to 60, 1 to 17 to 18 took a lot longer.
Yes.
So now that we have so many levels, it takes a lot less time. So I think that's cool. But 5,000? Why not 1,000 or 10,000? I mean, 5,000 just seems like such a weird model.
Yeah, I agree completely. And with the tiers, this kind of makes a little more sense. But like when I was looking at in my mind, like what I would do, like if I was Jeff Kaplan, my first thing, because one of the things they talked about was like people being defined by their number and everything like that. Well, yeah. I thought like, why don't you make the system smaller and make it like 1 through 10?
Right.
And say, okay, if I'm a 6 and my friend is an 8, I'm really not that far behind them, even though you just make it harder to gain levels or something like that.
Right.
With a system that has 5,000 levels, I feel like instead of losing 1 level per loss in competitive play, I'm going to lose 500 levels. And to me, that seems like mentally that's more insurmountable.
Well,
that was my first thought.
The first thing I think about here is that we both have some friends that are pretty good at the game, and if I want to do competitive play, they're like, "What's your rank?" I'm like, "Well, it's this." I'm like, "That's not too far." If there's 5,000 levels, that's going to feel a lot further away.
Yeah.
And so not having that rank right away might be kind of. I just don't know that people are going to want to bring you along.
I think it's going to hurt more. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
I felt like it's going to hurt more, but
yep.
I mean, we have to see how it plays out, I guess. But I mean, I really feel that like adding the level number like that was too much. I think they either should have stuck with the 100 or made it smaller, and just because that would have made it feel like, oh, I'm not that far away. I'm not 2,000 levels away from somebody. I'm only 2 levels away from somebody. But
well, I mean, it's basically like saying, oh yeah, well I am at 8.334. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like making in decimal points.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't really change anything. I'm 834 or 8,034, whatever they're gonna make it into. That seems like a lot of rankings.
Yeah, the other idea I had is that maybe they should just like completely hide the level except for you, and then when you get into like the pre-game screen, it just says the average level, like it says.
Sure.
And then you just leave it at that.
Well, then how would my friends reject me when I asked them to play?
I know, right? Like, so there's that. There's going to be bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, and grandmaster tiers, all divided up by about 1,000. So, about, right? So we'll see how that all works out. Once you get to the bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond, you will not drop out of your tier even if your skill rating falls below the cutoff. You're kind of like you were that good once. You're going to stay in that tier. Master and grandmaster tiers, you can fall, I believe, below once you can. A player whose skill rating falls below the tier's minimum. The patch notes are actually incomplete. That's why it threw me off there.
I would guess that they couldn't fall back further than platinum.
I think you can't fall back further than that, but
that would make sense. Yeah.
They'll also introduce skill rating decay. So as you stop playing, you'll start to lose 50 rating every 24 hours, but you won't fall below 3,000 if you're up diamond or higher. This is diamond or higher. So
still though. Wow, so they're like you have to play nonstop.
Yeah, and these are the really competitive people anyway. Like they're going to be probably playing anyway, regardless.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
And of course, if you haven't played a match for 7 days, then you will drop out of the top 500 if you're in it. So I don't think that's a problem.
Wow.
All right, map changes. Time Bank is coming in. No more coin and all that.
Yep.
So we talk about like Hanamura, Temple of Anubis, Volskalia Industries. Changes made to the Time Bank system for that. And it's also been added to Dorado, Hollywood, Kings Row, Numbani, Route 66, and Gibraltar. So there's that.
Oh, it's a lot of additions.
There was a whole lot more. I'm not going to go into all the detail. There's a lot of math, and especially if you're just listening to this, it's going to sound really confusing. The show notes will link to the Jeff Kaplan video. Watch that. It talks about how like time will be added and time was going to all that, all the numerical part of that. I don't want to go through it all here. I don't. I was listening to it and I was just like,
explain it out verbally for me.
yeah, it went over my head for the first time I thought about it, and I was like, had to
Sure.
sit there and be like, okay, wait, this is okay. That's how it's going to work. So, you have to compete in 50 matches to be eligible for the top 500. That's one of the other things they're going to be doing. So, you can't just be super good and be like teleported to the top 500.
Right.
So let's
That's
talk
good, though.
about hero balance.
Mhm.
All right. So, general hero balance is that ultimates that consume the ultimate meter will, when activated, now drain the meter quicker. So they'll drain it in a quarter of a second instead of a whole second.
Oh, okay.
So there's also reverted a recent change to reduce the size of heroes' projectiles. So projectiles are bigger, I guess, again now. They said that altering the size of projectiles had too many unintended side effects to keep in the game, at least in its current form. They'll look at it for the future.
Interesting. I didn't know any of those side effects. I guess I just wasn't aware of them.
I'm assuming a lot of this comes in really at the higher level. Like,
Yeah, good point.
Diva's defense matrix, after being activated, the defense matrix will begin regenerating after a 1 second and not a half-second delay. So it makes it a little bit harder to do the click on and click, a little bit of a penalty to that. Hanzo got some big changes. He will now receive experience at a 30% increased rate while aiming. I don't know why it says that in the patch notes. I was reading that line straight from the patch notes on the Overwatch page. I have no idea why. That's a huge typo. It's actually his movement penalty is changed from 30% and it was 40%. Wow, what is going on with that typo?
Yikes.
It's been out for a while.
That's a big typo.
That's a huge. I was like, he will now experience a 30% decrease in speed. Okay, I read it wrong. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Okay.
I'm just blind, is what it is. So, I've been reading all day for school. I guess like I'm reading law books into this line.
You're
The
forgiven.
maximum projectile speed was increased by 30% though, so his projectiles will go much quicker.
Yep.
Mei got some big changes. Her blizzard now pierces barriers. So if somebody has a barrier up, like Winston,
Yep.
she'll throw out her blizzard. It ain't no thing.
Not bad. I like
So
that.
and the radius was increased from 8 to 10 meters.
May gets buffed.
Mei
Let's
gets
get
buffed, yeah.
with it.
And then McCree, Deadeye now drains over like the quarter second period instead of what it was. Instead of displaying a 50% reduction on the ultimate meter when activated and 0% when confirmed. If you're familiar with how Deadeye works, you trigger it and you can set it off at certain times and all that. So there you go. They said that if players managed to counter or avoid McCree's ultimate, it would often regenerate very quickly since only half the ultimate charge was spent. Now, this ultimate works like every other ultimate and has a duration, basically is what they're saying.
Okay.
Mercy got a huge buff. Healing Beam has been increased by 20%.
Wow.
So they want to make sure that she has continued to be established as a primary single target healer. And resurrected allies will be able to start moving after 2.25 seconds versus 3 seconds. So that means that when I res you, you can get up and start running around a little bit quicker. And the developer notes were basically that, like, so that would hopefully help you protect me, was the theory.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't just get insta-killed for resing you. Genji...
How many times have we seen that?
Yeah, I know, right?
Res dead.
Res dead. Genji's double jump no longer resets while he's wall climbing. And his dash no longer deals damage to traps like the Venom Mine or the Steel Trap for Junkrat.
Really? I like that. As a Junkrat player, that's awesome.
And also, because of that, it does not bypass his Steel Trap anymore either. Because
Okay.
before you could dash past it and it didn't
Yep.
matter. Now you're going to get stuck.
I trapped a Genji today in a steel trap. That felt so good.
You're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Swift Strike will no longer interrupt quick melee attacks. So I think this is I think this has to do with the animation canceling. They've been talking a lot about that on places in the last few days. And Dragon Blade, the duration of his ultimate was decreased by 2 seconds, so it's now to only 6 seconds. Just makes it a little bit harder to get that, team kill,
Yeah.
solo team kill as Genji, I guess.
Yeah. Been there.
So you've been playing a lot of Lucio Ball. Let's get on to
Yep.
his change. And the amp it up, the boosting of movement
Yep.
speed was decreased from 100% to 70%.
Game's over. Uninstalled.
I know. Lucio, rip Lucio.
GG.
The chain hook for Roadhog was changed so that if a hook target is not in his line of sight when the hook is retracted, then they will be moved back to the position where they were when they were originally hooked. So no
That's
more
interesting.
like pulling people through, places they're not supposed to,
Yeah.
I guess. Because like you used to get like hooked and then you would like slide along a wall or something,
Yep.
and it would be all awkward. So they're trying to just get rid of that problem. And then there's Zenyatta, Orb of Discord. The amount of damage amplified by a target with Orb of Discord was decreased from 50 to 30%. And then Orb of Destruction damage has been increased from 40 to 46.
So kind of.
A little bit of a buff.
Yeah. Well, it seems like
getting
a
them
little
back
bit of
in
a
there.
balance between the two.
There you go. That's all the big changes for the heroes. Watch Point in Gibraltar's first checkpoint was taken off of the map. It's no longer there, actually.
What?
So
Wow. Okay.
that's hopefully going to balance that map a little bit better.
Yeah.
And a huge number of just like, of course, other random fixes. And apparently there was a specific crate on Watch Point Gibraltar that Genji and Hanzo could not climb. And you can now climb it. I do not know what crate that was.
Me either.
But go find that crate if you've been having problems with it. If you hopefully you know which one that is.
Go find that crate, people.
There's a lot of crates out there, so
Yeah, there are.
I don't know which one it would have been. So I think that's pretty much it. We're getting to the end.
Yep.
To wrap up what was kind of a Gamescom thing, it's not really at Gamescom. We just kind of saw it. The hype is building. Sometime in this fall, we will be able to get our hands on the Ganymede plush in the Blizzard Gear store
Yes, sir.
for $20.
The $20 is not bad.
It's not bad. Got to get him up there with Pepe on the shelf now. So,
Oh, that'd be pretty cool together, actually.
yep.
The
So
Birds of Blizzard.
there you go. I didn't see any Ask Overcast. Have you seen any on the?
No, I have not.
that this week?
We would love some, though. We'd like to answer questions on the air.
Yeah, hint, hint. So just use that hashtag AskOvercast on Twitter, or you can just tweet at us directly.
Yep.
And Softy, do you have any shout-outs for the week?
Shout out to Overdrive, wherever you might be. That was my angry shout out.
Angry shout-out.
Miss you, buddy.
Yeah, there, and then there's the loving part of it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, remember that you can find all of us on Twitter. You can find me at Frosty Fox. I'm Frosty Fox on pretty much every social media you can imagine.
Yeah.
Overdrive is Overdrive CTR. How about you, Softy?
Still at Ol Sawfty on Twitter, Sawfty on Discord, and all the various Overwatch channels and WoW channels.
There you go. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Overcast Show. Hit up the blog page at overcast.frozenfoxmedia.com where you can find links to all the things we talked about, and we'll get those up there ASAP. Having a little bit of WordPress issues. I got our host to upgrade the version of WordPress I'm using, so
Oh, nice.
hopefully that'll fix the problem I've been having with uploading files. I've been trying to get like image files uploaded,
Okay.
and something was wrong with our server settings, I think. Hopefully it got resolved finally.
Sorry about that.
That's
people.
why it's been like mercy every time, because I already had those pictures uploaded.
Right.
So
That's why it's been mercy every time.
yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, no one believes that.
So thank you. Yeah, and then also go to frozenfoxmedia.com for this and all the other podcasts and all the other content on the Frozen Fox Media Network. Also hit us up on Facebook, give us a like there, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe on YouTube if you like the video version. If you like the audio version instead, you can go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or anywhere else. And we'd appreciate your reviews on there. If you love the show, let us know. There you go. It's a cool little rhyme, right?
I like that. That was pretty good.
If you love the show, let us know.
Of the show, let us know. Here we go.
All right. Well, there you go. That's the end of the 49th episode. Next week will be the 50th episode
Big
of
one.
Overcast. That's 50.
Big one.
It's
Yep.
huge. So come and celebrate 50 with us. Maybe we can get the mower on for the 50th episode or something. I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
See if we can do that. Or maybe somebody else. Maybe we'll figure out something exciting for episode number 50. This is Overwatch podcast number 1 for everybody, right? Everybody's favorite.
Exactly.
But yes, we are Overcast, your Overwatch podcast. So make sure you tune in next week for the 50th episode and every week. Thank you very much for joining. I am Frosty.
I'm Sawfty.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.